Building is one of the most important aspects of Minecraft. You build to survive your first night in survival, you build to impress yourself and others. However, building structures and monuments is one thing, but making them look good is another thing. So today, I'm going to show you guys some simple yet very clever tricks that you can use in your Minecraft builds. Also guys, if you go on to enjoy this content, then why not subscribe and turn notifications so you get notified when all this content comes out. Plus, I upload Splatoon and Smash Bros if you don't know, so if you like that, then why not subscribe and turn notifications so you get notified when all this comes out. With that being said, let's get into the first, I don't know how many there are, but let's just get into the first of the few tricks and tips. The first trick I got to show you guys is, well, simply, it's in this room, but it's not where you expect it. Obviously you got like the classic piston with chairs trick, but however it's not actually in the bottom section, because if I look up, we have got what appears to be a like blacked out room up above. However, that's not the case. You can probably tell pretty obvious from what the glass is looking like, but it's a fade out effect, or simply like it's trying to simulate smoke and the rain's on. That's not good. Let's fix this. Now that's much better. Back to where we were. Yes, this is simply a smoke-like effect. It's meant to simulate that there's either smoke or some sort of like dark abyss either below or above. It's actually really simple to build, and right here through these doors there's actually a little testing ground, or more of a demonstration track I should show you. And you can see right here from a side-on view, it's actually not that hard to build. Right here in this chest I've got some items that you'll probably need for this idea. Some simple pieces like black stained glass, grey stained glass, some grey concrete, and black concrete. To build this, simply need to put some black concrete up the back where it's going to be the abyss somewhat, and then depending on how far you want it to go, you need to cover all around the glass sections where it's going to go. So right here I'm going to be putting 6 pieces of glass, and you want to cover every single one of pieces of glass with a piece of black stained concrete. You basically need to put the blocks in the right position. That's all I need to say. That's a fail and a half. Okay, that's fixed. Now, simply, like I said before, you just need to put the glass and the concrete in the right area. Obviously, this is just a simple idea. You guys can maybe make it a bit better than what I've done, but this is a quick demonstration. As you can see, it gives the idea of like a fade out. Obviously, it's better than just putting black stained concrete on a wall and calling it a day. But nonetheless, I think it's a cool effect. So if you guys like using this effect, then why not give it a try in your own base? Next up on the list is probably one of my favourites actually. It's like stone monument creatures with lava behind them. Honestly, this is like a very simple like trick to do. All you need to do is put lava behind any sort of stone structure with holes poking out, and then depending on what block you're using, you can use stairs, slabs, fences, walls, etc, and make some really cool looking like evil looking creatures. I really like the idea of it because, well, why wouldn't you want these kind of people in your base or in some sort of structure? Nonetheless, very simple, and if you guys don't believe me for what I'm trying to say, if we go to Game of Creative quickly, and show you right here that just up above you got some simple pieces like lava, right behind the obsidian, and wait, this is not obsidian, what am I talking about? Between whatever block it is. If you basically cover it up, then you should be fine, and then all you need to do is just make your own design with any sort of structure like this. Well, sad now, that's like, I don't actually know that. Right, you go back to being angry. But like I said, do any sort of thing you want with them. It's pretty much up to your own desire and what you want to happen with them, but nonetheless, I prefer these kind of like, this is spectator mode, and fixed. Right, ouch. Nonetheless, a very simple idea, and probably one of my favourites out of the bunch. Right, moving on. This one is actually a fairly common one that if you guys have played since, what, I believe it's 1.14? Is that when campfires came out? I can't remember. Whatever case, it doesn't matter because whenever Whenever campfires came out, this is basically a renewed version of the fireplace. Because as you can see here, you've got a fire pit, or fireplace I should say. Very big and open I should say. But the smoke is quite overdone, I could say. You've got a lot of smoke coming out of it, and it's a lot more than you actually expect. You might just think this is simply from the fire, but it's not actually. This is due to campfires being underneath the obsidian. What's with me calling these things obsidian? As you can see here, you've basically got, well, the difference between what it's like having no campfire and a campfire underneath it. You can clearly see that the smoke is rising through the netherrack and displaying itself above the flames. And I think it looks really cool. I mean, sure, you've got the smoke particle effects coming from this piece of fire right here, but you've got a lot more smoke on this fire right here. Nonetheless, a very simple idea and building trick that I prefer to use in a lot of my builds. So there you go, another simple idea that you can combine with other ideas to make into your own structure. And this is nighttime. Much better. Moving on to a more modern look, this room right here is pretty nice. Got some nice artwork on the wall with banners, a nice little lamp with rods. This is like a little bonus. I guess you could consider this a bonus. It's basically using an end rod for the stand of a lamp. This room right here has a little secret. If you guys do not know, you can hide buttons behind banners. And it's actually quite cool if you could have it behind here. I've hidden, I do not know what this button's called, but I think it's one of the nether buttons, I think. And to be exact, this is actually really hard to see. You'd have to be like really looking to find it. If you're just walking past, you would not see it. I'm clearly walking past right now. I mean, you can see it there when it blows out, but honestly, it's actually very hard to see if you're not looking for it. Moving away from the more technical stuff with redstone, going on to something that's actually pretty recent with the 1.16 update. As you can see here, this is more like a nice old dungeon. Wait, what is it called? I don't know why I call this dungeon nice. I'll say it's grim. Okay, it's grim but good looking. We'll say that. Anyways, you basically can see right here that you've got chains on the ceiling with end rods. This acts as a line source. If you guys remember back before chains came out in the 1.16 update, you had to use either blocks, fences, or iron bars. But with the introduction of end rods, you can now see, if I set it to night, that it actually acts. This is not dark enough, give me a minute. And there we go, much more darker. Anyways, you can see right here that this creates actually a pretty cool looking light source. I mean, this area looks like some sort of dungeon or cell, some sort of prison cell perhaps. Anyways, it looks pretty old, and I think this actually gives like a really cool effect, and I did not know those were one shot. It actually doesn't have to be end rods for the lighting source, it can be anything you really want it to, but in my preference, this is probably your best bet because of the fact that it's basically a 1x1 light source. You don't need any sort of blocks or anything to be behind from the side with redstone inputs. So there you have it. Simple lighting, and it's actually pretty cool in my opinion for this kind of atmospheric look. It could be better, but nonetheless, it's actually pretty cool. Right, moving on to the last one, you've pretty much got, this is more of a classic idea, but with the introduction of the crimson and warped blocks, you basically have a much more detailed looking carpet than you think. If you guys remember back in the day, you basically put signs underneath carpets and you created like this cool looking pattern, I guess. But with the introduction of crimson and warped blocks, you basically have a lot more colours. Basically, in this chest right here, this is what I've got right here. You've got these two. As I was saying, these blocks right here are really new. The crimson blocks are used in, I think they're both actually used in the nether. I know the warp's in the nether, but I'm not sure about the crimson. I think it's a different biome. I know that for a fact. I know that the warp's in the nether and the crimson might be in the nether. I don't know. I need to check it out. I've not played in 1.16 that much because I'm busy doing other stuff, but these two blocks are really new and they actually have nice looking colours to it, not gonna lie. Combine these new signs with the old technique used for carpets and signs, you basically create a really cool looking pattern that has either some harmony or some unity towards the design. Nonetheless, these blocks in general are actually really cool. And there you guys have it, some simple yet really cool ideas that you can implement to any of your Minecraft structures that you desire to build. If you liked today's video, then why not subscribe and turn notifications, because this way you'll get notified when all the content that I make comes out. Anyways guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye!